Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Are you ready for another party video series? Well, I hope you are, because this video launches my new series on the making of our Tony Awards viewing party. If you want to find out our concept and all the ideas we have planned for this fabulous occasion, please keep watching. Well, hello there, my friends. Are you ready for the next party? And no, we're not going to the Oscars this time. This time we're going to go to the Tony Awards. That's right. I wanted to bring you in a little bit on the planning that's going to happen for my next party. And yeah, it's going to be a Tony Awards viewing party. And this is the concept. The thought was that we're going to make it feel like a night in Broadway or a night in New York kind of thing, right? So I'm going to be able to use some of the elements that I already had built for my tea garden for my night in New York. So I wanted to show you some of those right now. Well, as you may remember, this canopy, the copper wire structure that I built for the tea party is basically just like long strips, right? And I have my branches, which I've already been zip tied to the copper rods, and that's what's holding all that. So to transform this into what, you may ask? First, I should tell you that, right? It's going to be transformed into what else but Tavern on the Green. I hear there's a beautiful terrace. Never been to it. Love to go one day, but it looks beautiful from the pictures. And I'll put a picture here of what the inspiration is for this Tavern on the Green in Central Park. So from what I can see, basically there's trees surrounding this whole area, and there's these little string lights, right, that go to a central post. So that's what we're going to try to recreate. So in order to transform my secret garden to Tavern on the Green, a few things have to happen, right? The first thing is that I need to remove all the florals and things like that. I'm going to leave the branches, of course, and but basically maybe some of the greenery I'll leave, but basically what I want to do is add just greenery to the top, especially to make it look more like a tree, more like we're looking actually like a canopy of trees. I'll probably take the lanterns off because those probably don't go with the theme, but I'm going to add string lights. Let me show you kind of the thought, right? You've all seen these kind of patio lights. So we want to put them just like they have on the inspiration. We want to create all this lighting going from the corners to the center chandelier and kind of back and forth like that until we have it all surrounded with this kind of lights. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to add some more lights to the trees. Right now, they just have little fairy lights, which are very delicate, but I want to add more like Christmas lights, so they look a lot richer in terms of texture. So that's the two things. Add more foliage, add the patio lights, that's just three things, and then also add more lights to the trees. So that's what's happening there. Now, in terms of a signage, I won't be keeping my gate that I have right now for my tea garden, but I do want to create an entrance for the Tavern and Green so that people know that that's where they're entering. And we saw, maybe a friend of mine and I were putting this together, and we saw a sign at one point that it was like a lantern, and it had the sign that says Tavern on the Green. I can't find it anymore, so maybe I imagined it, I don't know. But basically, I'm going to make it out of this. This is a lantern that I made a long time ago. It's, again, one of those DIYs that you find on YouTube, and I wanted to try it. Just pieces of wood and some little boxes that come from Dollar Tree. So what we're going to do is basically attach a post to the bottom and a base, and then we're going to attach the little rod, and I'm going to make a little sign that can hold a little logo, which actually I was able to find online very easily. So, and then inside, either we're going to leave this, or I might just put like an LED candle inside, like some of the other ones that I have. So that's going to be a little entrance into Tavern on the Green. Now, in terms of decor, or what's going to go on the table, of course, my grass on the table will go away. I'll probably leave the grass that I have on the floor. If you haven't seen it, I'll show it to you in a bit. But But what I want to do is probably just a white tablecloth. We'll probably put some of the food here. And the food, of course, I haven't mentioned, is what else? New York food, right? So you can't think of New York without thinking of pizza. So that's kind of one of the main things that's going to go here, pizza. And we have a few things. I'll share the menu with you a little later. But basically, it's going to be a lot of pizza food in here. And also in the kitchen, my smaller table, we'll probably put a few appetizers. But for now, it's going to be that. Now, in terms of a centerpiece, what I want to create is something with the playbills, right? So I was able to find all the playbills of all the shows that were nominated this year for the Tonys. And I'm going to show you here some of the ideas that I was able to find in Pinterest and other places. And I want to create something like that. Again, it'll kind of come to fruition when I have it all in front of me. I'll start playing with all the elements. But the idea is to have the playbills, maybe about that big. I could either put them on a stick, or I could maybe stand them up or something and put them on foam core. Many ways of doing that. But the idea is, maybe to decorate along some other items that maybe also might see in New York. I have a few big apples and things like that I could maybe add to that to kind of make it feel like Broadway, New York kind of a thing. So that's going to be the idea for this table. So it's going to go from Secret Garden to Tavern on the Green, okay? Now let me show you what's going to happen in the family room. That is where we're going to actually watch the war show. So let's go there. Well, hello and welcome to my family room, which will be otherwise known as Sardi's. Again, a place that I've never been to, but I've heard so much about. You know that place that has all the caricatures? Apparently it's very much a place to go to if you're going to go see a show. People go before and after a Broadway show. So we thought this would be the perfect place for that. So let me show you or tell you about some of the things we're planning for that, okay? Let me start with the drapery over here. Oh, well, as you can see, my family room is right next to the patio door to go outside. Now, I usually don't have any kind of window treatments here, but for Christmas, I put like a garland that, again, I have a video on that too. But one of the things we noticed when doing the research about Sardi's is that the walls are red. There's a lot of red in this place. And my friend happened to have a ton of red fabric, which is already cut into like curtain panels, which is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to create panels that hang from each side. Again, just to give the feel that there's red curtains. I don't even know if they have red curtains, but it's just to give that feel of red in the space. And in order to kind of hang them up there, I didn't want to get like a whole, curtain pole and, make actual holes in in my wall or anything like that. So I just got a dowel. It's like $2. This is 4 feet. I'm gonna cut it in half, and each side will be like a 2-foot kind of stationary drape kind of look to it. And instead of hanging it from actual drapery hooks, it's just gonna, command hooks. I have one of them up there right now, which I use for Christmas, and I'm gonna add a couple more. So basically, command hook. Boop. I also can spray paint the command hooks too. So, command hooks, or these are from a Dollar Tree, but, I'm going to give them a try. I don't know if they're as reliable as the actual command brand. But, I found this nice kind of color, which actually is called dark walnut, but it looks black to me. But basically, that's all going to be colored that, and you won't be able to see it. I'll probably have to come up with some kind of little ball or something here to kind of act as a finial so that, the curtains just don't fall off. But we'll see, because I might not even sew a pocket. I might just really pick it out with safety pins or something like that. I'm gonna see how it looks, and if it needs more, and if it's okay, to put a seam on it, I'll ask my friend. And if not, then like I said, we'll just fake it out. Nobody's gonna notice. Now for the kitchen, we're gonna do the same thing. In the kitchen, I have my small table. There's gonna be appetizers in the front there. And then I already have a curtain rod in there that's holding some curtains. So what I'll probably do is take those down. It's actually not a bad thing to give them a wash while I'm taking them down. And then put red curtains instead. And I can probably hang them with little clips, easy, we'll figure something out. Not a big deal. But anyway, so that is the plan for curtains. Let me show you the next part. Okay, so now in this part, this is where we're actually gonna do the more Sardi's kind of look. What we're gonna do is take this all down, and we'll bring the TV downstairs. And this is where actually we'll be sitting to kind of watch the war show. I have red covers. because again, the upholstery in that place is very red. I'm not gonna upholster the whole sofa, but at least I can get these cushions, all these cushions to be red. So again, give kind of the illusion or the feeling that it's all red. So that's gonna be the cushions. And on this wall, this is where we're gonna create our Sardi's kind of caricature wall. I was able to find a lot of them online, so I had no problem finding those, and I can actually print them out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create like a band of paper. Let me show you what the paper is. I forgot to bring it. Let me go get the paper. I had bought this roll of black paper when I did my Oscar party. I used it on the floor, and that was the place where people imprinted their handprints and did their signature, right, on the black paper. So I still have a ton of it. It was actually a big roll. So this is the idea. I also ordered some, again, imagine that this won't be here. This mirror won't be here. That's easy to remove. But imagine that I have this paper, which will go alongside the middle. Like that, right? All around probably this wall and probably this wall. And that's where the caricatures are gonna go. And now above and below it, I'm gonna have a stripe of 18 inches wide of red paper. Again, just to give that feeling that the walls are red, sort of. So, but I have plenty of this black paper. Now the frames, I'll show you a picture here what the Sardi's caricatures look like in place, on the real place. But basically, they also have like a black frame around them, or it's like a black, like a ledge or something. So the idea is to print out the caricature, and then we're gonna mount it on the black paper, but we're gonna leave enough space all around so it looks like it's a frame, Because at first I thought I was gonna buy all those frames, and that's a lot of frames. What am I gonna do with all those frames later? So I figured, you know what? Let's just kind of pretend it, let's just say that as long as you see the caricatures, I think people will get kind of the concept, right? Now, again, if you look at that picture again at Sardi's, the other thing you'll notice is the sconces, right? There's the sconces that they have on the wall right alongside all those caricatures. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could find like a little kind of lampshade to put on my sconces that would kind of make it look like that? It's a very simple kind of white shade. We looked, but we didn't have too much luck at thrift stores. But then I went to my bedroom and look what I found. I had forgotten I had these. I said, well, this might work. And then I tried them on for size. And all I have to do is that, and ta-da! It's completely, it's completely changed. And this, by the way, are candle sconces, so we're just gonna put an LED candle inside. It won't have much of a glow, but that's okay. I mean, it's more to give the feel. Again, probably nobody's gonna know that it looks more like Sardi's this way, but we know, so we care. So that's gonna be the other idea there. Okay, now besides that, the other thing that I'll show you a little bit of my, it's a very small, we've done some thrifting. We found a few things, not a ton, but we found a few. So I just wanna show you those. And this will probably be used for a little centerpiece, either the centerpiece that we'll have at the kitchen or in the dining room with the playbills. Probably this one will be for the kitchen. We probably want to get some like small Statue of Liberty, something like that. But anyway, we found this plate for 99 cents, New York, so that's gonna work. We found this a while back for, how much did we pay? $4 for this, and it lights up. Not that you can tell, but it lights up. I thought, oh, that'd be perfect to put like a little, to make like a little centerpiece kind of tablescape. And then I also found this giant big apple that happens to be silver. So very flashy, very, So I'm sure if you're doing all those elements and maybe a few others that we can find, we'll probably be able to kind of create kind of a cute kind of montage there. And then I was looking at Dollar Tree, and guess what? More apples, more silver apples. So I lucked out there. So again, we'll be able to kind of play with heights. And again, you'll see that eventually when we start doing that setup. Okay, and then one more thing we're gonna do just to bring home that sense that this is Sardi's. We're able to find a logo online, and we want to print it, fairly large. We have my friend's sister actually is able to print like 13 by 19, I believe it is. Anyway, so we can get as big as we can get it. So we're gonna put one on that wall. So when people are sitting here, this is Sardi's. And we're gonna put one in the kitchen too, right behind my little kitchen tables is Sardi's. So that's another little thing we're doing, kind of bringing that kind of theme home that we are Sardi's. So we got the sconces here. We got, you know, the Sardi's logos. Another little thing we're gonna do, just again for that flair. My friend happened to have a bunch of like glass squares, a little bit larger than a 4x4. They might be like 6x6 or 5x5. And when I saw them, I said, hey, we can make coasters out of that. We were gonna make coasters anyway, but I thought she already has that, so why not just make coasters out of that? Again, we're gonna take the logo, we're gonna shrink it down to size, and we're gonna Mod Podge it on the back and put some little feet on it, and they'll be coasters. And we'll probably spread it around in this room to kind of make it look like, you know, the coasters at the restaurant. So that's the other thing we're doing, the other little detail we're doing. And then finally, in that little place there, I can't show you to you right now because it's full of other stuff. It's where we're gonna do our bar setup, which is usually where I have my bar. The bar is right between the kitchen and the family room. And in terms of what's gonna go there, I was inspired by this picture. It's actually from Sardi's. When I saw that mirror tile, it's very kind of old fashioned, right? I mean, people used to do that a lot before. It really got me thinking, it'd be fun to do a mirror tile something. And I happen to have some mirror tiles that I've had forever. And I have a lot of glass pieces. So I'm gonna insert here some of the thoughts that I have about creating almost like a stepping up kind of situation, you know, where the glass is supported by different vases that I have, or glasses, all kinds of things that you can use for something like that. But the idea is to create kind of that kind of look. And of course I'll secure it with probably some of that Quake wax that I use a lot, just to make sure that things don't kind of, you know, go splashing and breaking all over the place because someone touched it. We don't want that. So anyway, so that's gonna happen over there in the bar. So it's gonna be a little bar setup. I also have a picture of New York, which I'll put in here, and I'll post that up. Actually, I'll put that up in the wall right next to the bar, so that again you get that feel that you're in New York. Now, in terms of activities, we have a number of activities planned that my friend was able to find. We have a bingo game, we have like a name tag thing, and those are free printables that we were able to find online. So that'll be some of the activities. A ballot sheet where people can put their predictions. I don't think we're going to be very good at it since we're not in New York and we don't know all the shows, but that's kind of part of the fun. It's a good way to keep track as you're watching the show. So, and then the bingo is always fun to see who wins the bingo. So we'll have to go with some prizes for the bingo. But yeah, so that's in terms of activities. That's one thing we're planning as well. And then again, if you want to see any of these things, you'll have to come back and kind of follow along as I share some of the little preparations. It's June 11th is the Tony, so by then we'll have to have it all done. So you know when that is, so make sure you come by frequently to check to see. I'm gonna post as soon as I'm able. We're probably gonna start setup on the week of the 27th, right after, you know, 27th, 29th? Anyway, Memorial Day weekend is probably when we're gonna start setting up everything and taking down all my tea party stuff. So stay tuned for that. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this Planning With Me series on going to the Tony Awards. So come on in and spend with us a night on Broadway. Why not? Well, I hope you enjoyed this planning video on the making of our upcoming Tony Awards party. Please don't forget to subscribe so you can join us in this journey and find out how all our ideas come out. Until the next one.